Hello everyone, I am Chase at Rocky Mountain ATVMC, giving you a closer look at the all-new Tech 10 boot from Alpinestars. All right, so today we're giving you a closer look at the all-new Tech 10 boot coming from Alpinestars. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like a first grader on the first day of school because I get really excited when new moto products show up. Now, anyone that's familiar with moto boots, you probably know the Tech 10 very well. It's been their flagship model for years. And yes, absolutely, a lot of the top riders in the world have been using these over the last few years. But what I would say is that take everything you know about the previous Tech 10, throw it out the window because yes, they do look a little similar, but there's a lot of changes. And some of the big ones that really stand out for me is they've lightened these up by over a pound. It's now a more low profile toe box to help with your controls. They have updated the ankle protection system. And also what I really like new this year is their DHCP, which is a heel compression insert to help with those bigger impacts. So before I dive in and we talk about all the features of this, let's talk about fitment real quick. So we have all tried, well, myself included, along with a lot of riders here at Rocky Mountain, we've all tried on the new Tech 10. For us, it fits true to size, really comfortable. No pinch points for me. Everything felt good. The toe box is plenty wide, so riders with wider feet, I really don't see that you're going to have an issue there. You still have the inner ankle bootie, their ankle brace. Keep that in mind. We'll talk about that more in depth. But overall, really comfortable. Also, when they were building this new model, they wanted to make sure you had a little bit more flex out of the box. The previous version, definitely known for being a very stiff boot, taking more time to break in. So they have kind of improved that with this new model by giving it more flex, and I'll explain how they did that here in just a little bit. But in any case, remember, this isn't a apparel item that goes for any boot that we sell at Rocky Mountain. If you are not happy with the sizing or fitment, send them back to us in brand new unused condition. It's called our Fit Guarantee. We give free shipping both ways on your first exchange because we want to make sure that you do get the size and the fitment that you are looking for. All right, hunker down because we got a lot to talk about. First, let's just talk about construction because that is different now. So the base of the boot is going to be microfiber, and as you can see, you have a lot of hard TPU throughout, so a lot of good impact protection. Now, different from the old model, they actually got rid of most of the suede on this boot. And the reason that they did that is multiple riders would talk about how that suede would stain. So you don't have to worry about that. So just make the boot easier to clean. You got no more suede. You'll also notice on the medial side here, going all the way up the inside, you have this rubber guard. Before, it would actually end about halfway up the boot, and that's where you saw that suede material. Now it comes all the way up. So it's just gonna offer a little bit more durability, also better contact, better grip for the bike. And also what I like too, is that you see right here, it looks like it's an insert, but this piece is actually injection molded in, so it's not glued, it's not stitched, so it's gonna, they say, provide better feel on the bike with the bike, or better feel, excuse me, but also it's gonna offer better durability because you don't have to worry about any glue or any stitching there. So again, they've improved a couple of things when it comes to the construction. Buckle design, same buckles with the previous model, but they're now cold forged, so that makes them stronger as well as lighter. And I will say that for any motocross boot, the Tech 10, what Alpinestars has, is my favorite buckle design. I think they're just the easiest to operate. Even when mud and gunk get packed in there, they still work seamlessly. And you're gonna notice that down here at the bottom, this bottom buckle, what I like about it is that when it's snapped down shut, you actually have this raised portion here right in the front. So that way, you know, worst case scenario, if you were to catch this on something, having that raised up, having that little lip in front of that buckle will really help prevent that from getting ripped up. You're also gonna notice that even with the straps are using a stronger nylon material that is thinner. That's also lightening those up as well. So again, like I said earlier, you're over a pound lighter for the set. So again, love the buckle design. You got 3 buckles going all the way up. Another big change that you will notice, you're gonna see that they now have their multi-link system. So you now have a pivot on the medial and the lateral side of the boot. The previous Tech 10 did not have that because like I mentioned earlier, they wanted to make sure they had a little bit more flex right out of the box with these. So by having that pivot system on the medial and lateral side, just gives a little bit more flex out of the box, not gonna be or take as long for these to break in. So that's a concern you have. I don't think you really need to worry about that. Also, another thing I like is that with that pivot that you have here on the medial side, this is actually a little bit higher. And the reason that they made that higher was that way you have less material, less bulk towards the bottom of the boot where you're really gonna be contacting the bike. By doing that, they could slim this down just a little bit. Also, when you bend forward, you have the hyperflexion. With the older Tech 10, a lot of riders talked about how it would kind of bulge out on the inside here. Well, now because you do have that multi-link system, it has a nice streamlined look to it. And when you do have that hyperflexion, you bend forward, you're not gonna get that bulging on the side. So again, overall, everything's been improved on the outside. We talk about up here at the top, again, you can see very large shin plate. You still have their flex blade system, which we saw with the previous version. So you're having that here in the front. You also have it here in the back. So what the flex blade system does, it just allows the boot to have flex, but also it's gonna help with hyperflexion and hyperextension. So it's a really cool safety feature. We saw it the previous model. They have left it here with the Tech 10. But what is new and a feature that I really like is their frontal flex control system. And where you're gonna see that is right here between your two bottom buckles. So it's this little piece that sits right here in the middle. So I've actually got one right here that I wanna show you. So what this frontal flex control system is, it's a little insert that is actually connected to your bottom buckle and then to your upper buckle up here at the top. And what it is, it allows the boot to have good flex, so it's actually just kind of floating between these two, but it's gonna act as a shock absorber. So for hyperflexion, when you come off those big impacts and your knee is bending forward, this frontal flex control dampener is gonna help absorb that impact. So you're getting that more flexibility right out of the box because you have that multi-link system, but to help absorb some of those bigger impacts, they've added this here between these two bottom buckles. So it's a really cool safety feature that they built into this. You're probably wondering, what the heck is this to my side? Well, this is actually the foot shell. When we talk about construction, so you have a one-piece molded foot shell, and it's actually made out of 5 different densities. They put different densities where they are needed just to help get the best feel possible with this. So it's pretty cool. Thank you, Alpinestars, for sending this over. Gives you a very good idea of what this foot shell looks like. You can see that's gonna be your steel shank that is built in. So the steel shank is gonna offer some rigidity, a little bit of support for the rider's foot. And also something you can't see unless you have this is in the sole, you actually have this relief here. And this relief is just to help give a little bit more feel on the foot peg. So with motocross boots, they're pretty stiff. You want to have as much feel on the foot pegs as possible. So by having that relief, just a little bit more feel for the rider. And again, that's going to be that flex blade that I just mentioned earlier that's coming up the back of the boot. So that's the outside. Now, another big safety feature that I really like with this new Tech 10 is called their DHCP. It stands for Dynamic Heel Compression Protection. We know a lot of riders that get injured when they hit the eject button off their bike or whatever it is that they're riding. You come down feet first and you bruise or injure your heel. If you've had an injured heel before, you know as well as I do, they hurt and it takes a long time for those to recover. So what Alpinestars is now doing is they have this insert that is made from a polyfoam. It is crushable, and where it actually rests is right here on the bottom of the foot shell. So if I flip this over, you can see, like we talked about earlier, there's your steel shank. So it rests right underneath the back of the heel shank. And by having this insert in there, this is gonna be for those big impacts. I'm talking, you hit a jump, you hit the eject button, you're landing feet first. That's going to do a great job of absorbing those impacts and dispersing that through the boot rather than just right to the rider's feet or to the rider's legs. Now keep in mind, like I said, this is crushable, which means if you do have an impact big enough that you do crush this, just like say an EPS liner in a helmet, it's not going to return to its original shape. So it loses its properties to absorb impact. And Alpinestars actually told me that if you do crush this insert, you will know it, so you don't have to just guess. So what you want to do is send this back to Alpinestars. You send the entire boot back, and they can actually replace this insert for you. Or if you want to, we'll talk about it here in just a second, the soles on these are replaceable. So if you send the whole boot back to be resoled, they will actually just go ahead and replace this insert as well if you want them to. So it's really nice that you have this protection, and it is going to be replaceable. From there, we move on. We've got the Bootie. It's been redesigned, okay? They kept this from the previous Tech 10. I'm a big fan of it, but what they've actually done to change it up, they've made it just like with the boot and the shell itself, they've made it a little bit more low profile. Again, they're going for better feel, better movement with the rider. But I don't like to call it an inner bootie. I like to call it an ankle brace. It's because you can see you've got these torsion bars here on the lateral and the medial side. So this isn't just a bootie to give a more snug fit when you have it inside the boot. This is designed to actually give support to the rider's ankle and work in conjunction with the outer boot. So you can see what these do. They give good torsional rigidity. So you remember, if you dab your leg, you get it caught in a rut, you're pulling it to the side or inside, these will give that resistance to that torsion. They also are going to help with hyperflexion and hyperextension as well. And one feature about these that I really like is the fitment. So when you put the bootie on, or the ankle brace, and then you put it inside the boot, it does a great job of keeping your foot and your ankle very secure. If you've ever heard of heel float, it's a term we use when you walk inside a boot and you feel like your heel's lifting up off the sole. Because you have these on, it keeps the foot very secure. So I didn't notice any heel float. For me, that's a big feature. Also going along with that, you have a 3D open cell foam on the inside. It's antimicrobial. And what I like too is Alpinestars has really thought this through. Down here at the bottom, they actually have a piece of suede, and that suede is just gonna offer a little bit better grip on the bootie to help prevent that from lifting up. And again, that's where that zero heel float is coming in. Last thing I wanna talk about is with the sole. You have an all-new dual density sole on the bottom. Like I mentioned, you can see that this is replaceable. You just got to send it back to Alpinestars. They can do it for you. But a couple of features that are unique to this. You now have these micro bumps here on the bottom that can offer a little bit better grip on the foot peg. You'll notice here too, they have these grooves on the inside and the outside of this middle piece. So the purpose for these grooves is, when riders are really weighting the foot peg, when you're going through a turn and you're weighting as much as you can, they've put these grooves in here just to give a little bit better grip right on the edge of that sole in those situations. You'll also notice that you now have these groove cones on the toe as well as the heel. Well, this is actually a bite out of their Dakar racing. They actually talked to riders who said, hey, sometimes we're off the bike, we need a little bit more grip. So they added these groove cones just so that in those times that you are off the bike, you have a little bit more grip on the heel as well as the toe. And that is it. That is the all-new Tech 10 coming from Alpinestars. Again, looks similar, but all new, all improved. If you guys have any questions about these, leave your comments below and we will help get those answered. If you have a set, comment below, let us know what you like about it, maybe what you don't like about it. That's gonna help other riders out who are considering these as their next pair. If you guys wanna pick some up, it's real simple. Just click on the link at the end of this video. Don't forget, orders over 75 bucks ship free. If you like this product spotlight, give it a thumbs up, get subscribed to our YouTube channel, and that's gonna keep you up to date on the latest gear guides, product reviews like you just saw today, as well as our how-to videos. I am Chase, we'll see you on the trails.